going on, guys? Your boy Coach Anthony, of course, none other than world-class professional fighter Fast Eddie Chambers. And today's video is going to be 3 mistakes I see beginners make, okay? And they're going to be pretty obvious to me. I don't know about to you, but to me they're going to be pretty obvious, because to me the biggest mistakes that I see the beginners make is, first of all, beginners don't like to spend time learning the fundamentals properly, right? They want to go ahead and move forward and learn a bunch of stuff that they're not prepared to learn. And then what ends up happening is, by the time they realize that they've been learning things too soon, or they're doing things the wrong way, they've already developed a bunch of bad habits. And that's something that we want to prevent here at Coach Anthony Boxing, right? And we want to make sure that you guys are learning the right way. So the first thing that I would focus on if I was the beginner, the first mistake that I notice beginners make is they don't focus on their boxing stance, right? So a beginner may get into his boxing stance and not really realize the basics. Go ahead, Eddie. We see beginners do this all the time, right? They're standing up too straight. They're not bending their knees, right? Their feet aren't in a toe-heel alignment. Their hands are up. Go ahead. Or they're too square. You notice that they're square, a complete target, right? So the first thing that beginners need to do is focus on the first thing you need to learn, which is the boxing stance, all right? And I got videos on the YouTube channel on the proper boxing stance. We're not going to go into that, but that's a big key. You need to learn the boxing stance. The second thing that I noticed, the mistake that I see beginners make, is they wind up too far when they're trying to throw punches. They're trying to throw every punch hard, right? So a little demonstration. Eddie, show them on the bag how a beginner may come into a heavy bag and just start swinging. Yeah, they start hitting. Everything is just wide. Everything is just hard. They're just trying to knock you out with every single punch. And in boxing, that's typically not how it works, okay? Now, you may have some situations where guys just go in there swinging crazy and they do get some good knockouts or whatever. But for the most part, when you're boxing guys at a higher level, okay, and you start to really compete with guys that know what they're doing, if you throw every punch with the intent to hurt the guy, you're going to leave yourself exposed. You're going to be telegraphing punches. You're going to be easy to hit. You're going to be a little bit slower than you want to be, because you're not really focusing on setting up punches, and you're really not going to do that well. So you definitely need to learn how to set up those power shots. There's nothing wrong with throwing hard shots, but you have to learn how to set up those shots. You know, working your jab, working your feints, using your footwork, being creative with your head movement, different things that seasoned boxers learn in order to be effective with power punches. It's not just about throwing punches hard, it's about setting it up. And the last mistake that I noticed that beginners make is they want to get in the ring and spar too soon, okay? Another mistake that I noticed, right? Guys walk into a boxing gym, and let me tell you why I know this to be true. I was a gym owner for over a decade, and me, myself, when I first started boxing, I was that guy. I walked into the gym thinking that I could just box anybody, not knowing that boxing is a skill and an art form that you actually have to learn. You actually have to learn the fundamentals. Boxing is really no different than learning like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or like Taekwondo or any of these martial arts that you see guys get the belts and the whites and the blue and the black belts, right? Boxing is very similar, except that we don't progress our athletes the same way traditional martial artists do. But it is a skill set. It is something that you have to progressively learn. You have to learn the fundamentals of how to throw punches properly. You have to learn how to defend punches properly. You need to learn the art of feinting and footwork and counter punching and how to create angles and all these different things. And before you get into the ring and spar, you actually have to go through an intense level of training, conditioning, preparation. And once you get all those things together, then you're prepared to get into the ring. Because the mistake that beginners make is they'll get into the ring too soon, and when they get hurt, guess what? They never come back. Never see him again. And he's like, damn, what happened to that kid? He said he really wanted to box, and I never seen him again. Well, he got his ass whooped. That's what happened to him. And why? He got his ass whooped because he didn't take time to learn the fundamentals. He didn't take time to drill what he learned, right? It's one thing. You could watch all the YouTube channel. You could watch me, and you can search the internet for the next 3 days and pull up every single boxing video there is. If you don't put it into practice, it's going to be inapplicable for you. You have to actually practice what you are learning. It's not just about learning. It's about application. So the big mistake the beginners make is they get into the ring without the proper application, without the proper training, and then they get hurt and they never come back. So that would be me. That would be my mistakes that I think beginners need to make sure they focus on. Focus on learning, focus on practicing, get better, get into that ring, and then you can go ahead and try out your skills. Guys, if you want to learn more, you guys already know where to go, coachanthonyboxing.com. You already know, boxing life.